So I'm going to start as the DSM for this one, and Paul's going to be the family. And he's looking for his mom. So, hi, Paul. This is Jordana from Settlers Park. Do you have a quick minute to catch up?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay, great. So the last time we spoke, you said that you and your wife were thinking about moving your mom in with you during the stay-at-home orders. So I wanted to see what you decided and how you all were doing during this time.
Well, my mom moved into our guest room a few weeks ago. It's a little cramped. Me and my wife we're both trying to work from home. The 3 kids are trying to do schoolwork and play Fortnite. And then the 2 dogs are still as crazy as ever, so it's fun.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Okay. So both of you are working. You have the 2 dogs, the kids, and now with your mom, it's a complete full house. So how is your mom adjusting to the new environment?
This first few days were really good. It was like an extended weekend kind of, but now she's kind of watching the kids more than anything and kind of, I don't know, kind of acting even as a nanny. And then the dogs are just driving her crazy too. They don't leave her alone because she's new and she gives them too many treats.
Oh gosh, that sounds terrible.
Yeah, and then just like with working, I mean, there's not as much time as I thought, like to help take care of her.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. Okay. So I remember previously that you had mentioned that she was in a good routine at home with her home care nurse. So do you have the same nurse coming in now, or are you and your wife providing the care for her?
Well, it's the same home care company, but even though we're like 15 minutes away from her house, the nurse had to change because it's a different area. And then in doing that, with them trying to find another nurse, we missed a few days of care. And then this nurse's schedule is like on a different day, different days of the week than what the old nurse was. So my mom being stubborn, she wanted to get a shower and decided that she didn't want to wait and just wanted to try to do it herself. So she also didn't want to bother us and like use the walk-in shower. So she went to the bathroom that has like a tub shower. She tried to get in and said she almost fell. We think she fell, but we ran up real quick to help her. And now my wife is always helping her in the shower. And it's just like awkward right now.
Oh, wow. Okay. So she tried to get in the shower by herself, stumbled a little bit, and now your wife is having to help her in the shower. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. Okay. So that's obviously a lot on her and your family in general, right, at this time. So, well, I do want to remind you that you do still have the deposit on apartment 111 that you placed back in March. And I have some good news today that I wanted to share with you, that we are now able to admit new residents following our 2-step COVID admission process. So if you remember, we would still have to assess your mom to find out exactly what her care level is, which we can do virtually. And then for the new COVID-19 admission process, it's not difficult, and I can walk you through every step of the way so that you feel comfortable and completely understand what our policy is. And we could move forward with that process after we receive your mom's first negative test result.
Okay, so what happens after that?
Okay, so that's a great question. So I can absolutely go into this a little bit more in depth with you, but on the day of move-in, she would be tested for a second time and then quarantined or separated for 14 days, or until the second negative test result is received, whichever is later. So our current residents are also unable to be out and about in the community at this time as well, in an effort to reduce the risk of possible COVID-19 exposure.
All right, so I mean, my mom doesn't have COVID. Wouldn't it just make more sense for her to like stay here with me instead of being quarantined there away from us.
Right, right. So I do understand your concerns completely. So other families have felt the same way that you do. And what I found is that after explaining what our quarantine or separation policy looks like and feels like, they're more comfortable with it. And they realize that it isn't even too different from how their loved one is living now. So let me tell you a little bit more about that. So she would be in the comfort of her own apartment. She would be getting her meals and her favorite snacks delivered to her. I know she loves the Snapple lemonade and the blueberry Velveeta crackers. So at the time of move-in, you could bring those in so that she could have her favorite snacks and feels at home. In terms of our programming experience right now, our community is still pretty active, just like you remember. However, we have modified our programming to help practice social distancing. So our program director and her team are doing one-on-one activities in resident apartments, and we are encouraging them to stay engaged in things that they've always loved to do. So I know you've mentioned that your mom loves puzzles and bird watching, and we would ensure that she's able to do those things from the comfort of her apartment. How does that sound?
It sounds good, but I don't know. I mean, are people actually doing this now? Wouldn't it?
Yes, they are. Absolutely. So, Paul, you just mentioned that your mom almost hurt herself in the shower, and now your wife and you are taking on the burden of caring for her, given that the home care nurse isn't coming in. So in our community, our care team would take care of those needs for her, including showering. So just as normal, we would come in the morning and at night and help assist while keeping her as safe as possible, even during the quarantine process. So would it give you peace of mind knowing that you and your wife won't have to do that task for her and that burden would be off of you and your family?
It would. I mean, home life would probably be a little bit easier.
Right, right. Yeah. Well, that's great. I'm glad that you feel that way. And just to remind you, you know that I've been here since the beginning and I will absolutely help you every step of the way. So the next step in the process is that we at least schedule the virtual assessment with your mom. So, and we can have your wife there as well so that we learn exactly what her care needs are. And then we will review the assessment together with our health and wellness director. And then we can go over what the rest of the testing process looks like. How does tomorrow morning or afternoon sound?
The afternoon's good. Yeah, why don't we do the virtual assessment, and then yeah, I can get my wife on there too.
Okay, that's wonderful. All right, so I'll give you a call around 2 p.m.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, talk to you then. Bye.
Bye.
Okay. How did that sound, everyone?
I thought you guys did a great job.
Okay, thank you. So obviously it's going to vary, based on, we just, kind of pulled something together. But I loved how, he kept saying, no, I'm not quite ready. I'm not there yet. Like, why would I make this move? So, and then, bringing it back to the care piece and most recent situation that caused the most pressure for the family, right? So, okay, so let's move on to the next one. So this is, why is SLC a better option than home care or an adult home?
Okay. And then I'm going to be the director of sales, and Jordana is the family for this one.
Okay.
Hi, Jordana. It's Paul Barlow calling. We were speaking a few weeks ago about your father, Jim.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, I remember you. Hi.
Hi. Do you have a quick minute?
Sure, just make it quick. Diners, Drive-ins, and Dives is coming on, and they're going to make an awesome Reuben sandwich, so I don't have much time for you.
No worries. When I meet, I loved Reuben's a lot, so I might watch it too. I know you said before you were weighing community living options with home care options too for your dad. I still have your deposit here for that 1-bedroom apartment that we were looking at. And I know when we spoke, it just started that admission hold that we had here. We opened back up to new move-ins at this time. So I was just wondering what normal day now kind of looks like for Jim.
Well, thanks for asking. It's pretty interesting now. So he's out of his routine. It's getting harder for him to manage his house and for me to keep everything together in my own house. He still wants to go out and about. And so my sister and I are trying to, keep him in his house, which is difficult. We're getting him groceries. We are sanitizing them. We're taking turns doing that. So that's a lot. And he hasn't been able to go to the senior center or church. So he really only gets out to see my kids. And that's just, by them, at the end of the driveway waving to him. So my sister and I were actually talking about home care last night, and it just seems like a better option. Plus, she's really pushing for it. With all the COVID-19 everywhere in the nursing homes, it's just really scary.
Oh, no, I know. It is really scary. And I mean, I couldn't even imagine how hard it is to manage everything at home and trying to take care of your dad too. If you're open to it, I'd really love the opportunity just to talk a little bit about the community here and how we're different from nursing homes, and then even how most families see us as a better option from home care too.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Just be quick though. Remember, my show's coming on.
I got it. Totally understand. As an assisted living, we're really fortunate. The state hasn't forced us to allow COVID positive residents to move in. And since we're a private family-owned company, we're one of the first to even stop admissions altogether. Now that we're slowly starting again, we've got a very thorough process to make sure everyone's as safe as possible. If somebody initially tests positive, then we won't even move forward until they're healthy again. And then that, along with restricting visitors, it's really made our residents, their families, and the entire team here feel really safe.
Oh, okay. So that's really good. So I didn't know any of that. But my sister is kind of the one that thinks home care is just easier for us. But I don't think she's fully seeing the burden that it's putting on both of our families, with all of the day-to-day care and attention, that my dad needs.
Sure. And I know why she's saying that and feels that. And some families I even speak with and have spoken with before all this really felt that too. The reality with home care is, though, that you or your sister are going to have to probably manage that. And most families find out pretty quickly it's even harder than what you're dealing with now, if you can imagine that. When you think about your father, if he's like most seniors, he's not going to enjoy somebody coming to his door and then a stranger coming into his house. So when he locks them out, you're going to get a call. Whenever they can't get staff, you're going to get a call. And most times each day, it's going to be a different person coming into his house. In the community, though, we manage everything. You don't get a call because those are our things to deal with, not yours. And then in these COVID times, we're even monitoring our team members' health and symptoms 3 times a shift. We're taking their temperatures when they come in the middle, and then as they leave. And then most home cares, they use independent contractors. So you got to be really careful. And if you are going to pick a home care, make sure that they're employees, because they can't give independent contractors certain directions.
Huh. Okay. So yeah, I don't think my sister is even understanding half of that. That was some great insight, and I think it would be helpful if you talk to her too. She's super annoying, but I think it would be worthwhile.
Oh, no, for sure. So, if you'd like, we can definitely schedule that, and I can let her know just to be careful about the home care for sure. Routine's really important for your father. Coming into the community is going to help him get back into a routine sooner, and I'll be able to share that with her. And he's going to be safer, and you and your sister are going to be able to get back to your daily lives. We've got the deposit, so there's no cost or anything to schedule this virtual assessment tomorrow, and then we can just talk through everything. Does that work?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Let me give you my sister's number though. Maybe you can take her off my hands. That'd be awesome.
All right, that's fine. I'll call her and then we'll let you know when it's scheduled tomorrow.
Perfect. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, so does that kind of make sense for everybody? Like we were trying to just do number one, like the home cares, because that's a big thing here, but then also to differentiate between us and a nursing home.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yes,
it was
definitely.
good.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. Like, I think differentiating between the nursing home and the assisted living is really important because, like, especially in California, most of the cases are in skilled nursing, not in assisted living, and really understanding that they're actually safer in an assisted living environment right now. One thing actually Patricia mentioned, and I think this is more just for us in general, which has been really helpful for me in a lot of the calls between yesterday and today, is that if we eventually start to open the community back up to the residents with like communal dining, new move-ins are still going to have to quarantine. So this is actually like a better time to move in right now than waiting, you know? Yeah, she brought that up. That is a really good point. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. You're exactly right.
They're not going to miss out on anything. And then just like what we've done in these past two, I mean, just go for the little wins. I mean, you don't have to get the contract signing date. Just go move everybody through the process slowly. I mean, we have to, no matter what, we have to go through it slowly. So we might as well take advantage of that too and just have the little wins of going through everything. All right. And then one more.
So this is no opening date for the community. Why leave a deposit? So hi, Paul. This is Jordana. I'm calling from Meadowbrook.
Oh, hey. How are you?
Great, great. I'm doing wonderful. How are you?
Not too bad.
Good. So I know that you inquired. Oh, sorry. I know that you inquired about Meadowbrook a few months ago for your father, Paul. And the reason I'm calling is because the measures that we've taken during this time protect those who not only live in our community, but ensure that we have a healthy environment for our future residents as well, like your father. So I was wondering if I could ask you a few quick questions to help ease your mind during this time.
Yeah, sure. I just don't have a ton of time. Vanderpump Rules is coming on, and I think we're going to meet Shani's new boyfriend.
Oh, okay. Awesome. I love that show. I totally get it. All right. Don't worry. Won't take long. So can you tell me a little bit more about what a typical day for your dad looks like at home now and what concerns you've had?
Sure. Yeah. So he's kind of stuck at home. I mean, I'm here in North Carolina and I'm not traveling to California as much as I used to with all this. And I don't even know when I'm going to be there for the next trip. My sister's trying to help coordinate deliveries to his house, and she's still a few hours away from him too. He says he's doing pretty well, but I mean, even on top of everything that we kind of talked about weeks and months ago, now he's staying on the phone a lot longer. I think he's just getting really lonely.
Oh, gosh, okay. So I know it's hard for seniors who live alone right now. A lot of community resources are closed or just unavailable.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, even Meals on Wheels isn't happening. And then, I mean, just sometimes, I mean, a community seems like it's a good idea. I mean, it was weird. He even kind of said that last night.
Oh, okay. So that's great. So, well, we are actually still on an admission hold right now. We did that so everyone in the community, the residents, our team members, they stay as safe as possible. However, I could send you the paperwork to leave a deposit on that one bedroom that you looked at when you were last here. And I would love to review the paperwork with you. I could even drop off lunch or dinner for him from our chef. I know he loves lasagna, so it's actually on the menu tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's really neat. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, you're not really open. I don't want to waste anybody's time. I mean, we're gonna come there, but it's probably just better just to hold off. I don't want to waste time, and we'll just wait until you're open and take care of this then.
Okay, so I understand that as well. I totally understand. But don't forget, the deposit is refundable. So what it does for you is it gives you the first right of refusal on apartment 213 that your dad loved with the courtyard view. And this will also help your dad to feel, to start getting in the mindset about moving. And it'll give you peace of mind knowing that you actually have the apartment that he loved when he was here. So it is a huge step that he actually opened up and said that it would be a good idea to move in to a community. And I'd strongly suggest at this point that you would take advantage of that, so that you keep the momentum going with him, and then it'll be less of a battle in the next few weeks. We actually are open to readmissions.
All right, so it's refundable, but like, what if you don't open, or what if like an emergency happens?
Okay, so it is completely refundable. And in the unforeseeable instance of an emergency and he needs placement sooner before we're open, then I can help guide you to either a sister senior lifestyle community or one of our neighboring senior living communities as a respite stay. And then we can actually help offset those moving costs and assistance by about $1,000. We do open. And don't worry, we will open. We have senior lifestyle communities that are slowly opening. Our process is very thorough and very thought out. So eventually our community will be open. And like I said, putting down the deposit now will actually just be able to give you and your father peace of mind that the one that he wanted is his when the time is right.
All right, okay, yeah, and I like keeping him moving so then he doesn't kind of go back and think he doesn't have to do this. So, all right, let's do it.
Right. All right, awesome. Sounds good. I will be over tomorrow with lasagna and the deposit form.
All right, I'll tell him to be ready.
All right.
All right, bye.
Rhonda, that one was your favorite?
I love it.
So obviously, you know, we try to make it, we're not as natural as I know that we need to be, but we try to make it as realistic as possible. So did everyone enjoy that? Any feedback, any questions, or any follow-up that Paul and I can do from these role plays?
I like the fact that you offered to take dinner. Staying in touch with them is so important.
Yeah.
And paying attention to those little things of his favorite was lasagna.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So all that really good discovery and stuff that you guys did, it's really gonna pay off now, and then just creatively to think around how to get these next little steps going forward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what we can do is we can send out the script that we use just so that you all can have them as talking points for the same. And then we'll send out the chart that we made for just the quarantine at home versus with us. And then, of course, just put it in your own words, but at least it's kind of a foundation. Awesome.
Yeah. And then please too, like, you guys do a really great job. Just hit reply all when you have other ideas and things too that we can all learn from, because we're all going to have different objections coming up. And if one of these even don't help, I mean, just let us know right away too, and we can talk through something. But like Jordana said, we can go through it individually with whomever is your helper, and then just go from there.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining. We hope it was helpful, and We'll get everything out to you right now, momentarily, so you have it. Have a great weekend, everyone, and happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there.
Yeah. Have a great weekend. Happy Mother's Day.
And happy birthday to Courtney.
Happy birthday, Courtney. Hey, Courtney.
Happy birthday, Courtney.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Great job, you.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
So, Paul,